Hi everyone, we're back. Friday fun. What? How is everyone? I'm sharing it by the way, just in case you're all like, what the hell is she doing?
I'm fine. I've been painting today. I've been painting ostriches, which has got nothing to do with paranormal.
Bloody hell, you must be fit to be able to keep up with them.
Oh, look at Jason's dog.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Beautiful.
Happy Fucking Friday, Jason.
How are you, Grandad Tolly?
Me? Oh yeah, I'm just on the getting over the end of COVID, but almost normal, but not quite.
Good.
Well, as normal as I get, anyway.
You don't want to be too normal.
I didn't actually want to say that, Ian, but okay
that's
then.
unsteady ground being too normal. You don't want to go there.
We love you just the way you are.
Weird, yeah.
Yeah.
How's you, Daniel?
Very good, thanking you. Very good indeed. It's been an uneventful week, like most weeks in my life.
How's your feet?
Aww.
How's my what? My feet. Still big.
How are your feet, Lois?
Oh, still 10.5. Can't get them shrunk. So everybody, we are talking about Ian's favourite show tonight, Ghost Adventures.
Love them. Love them.
Yeah, love them to bits.
Wait, are you not on their Christmas card list, Ian?
I'm certainly not on Zach's.
Do you know what? Throughout the show, I'm going to do a Ghost Adventures special. I'm going to go say, what the hell? Or what the heck? That's what they say all the time, isn't it?
It's a demon.
I particularly like their EVPs. Listen, can you hear this? It said my name.
Hang on. I'll just take my shirt off.
Don't mind if you do. It's Friday night. Do what you want.
Exactly, Jason. Why is everything a demon? Why is everything a demon? Thank you.
Do you know what? I'm going to be
Because
really
my
Do you know what I honestly think? I think it's the ghost calling him a demon because of the way he acts.
Call him a dickhead.
So often.
I must admit, right, guys, I've never ever watched a ghost show, right? So when Dan picked us out the Jerry Doom, and I was talking to Ian, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to watch one clip, right, to see what the big deal about this is, right? So I watched the one where he's investigating at a bridge, and obviously one of these guys, I think it's Aaron, gets pushed apparently, right? Right? You can't see it because they're looking up that way at the bridge, right? And then suddenly, just after Aaron gets pushed, Zach's getting strangled by a demon, but you can see his hands literally, around his neck. So they're telling him to let go and everything. The next thing he's on the ground, and the camera's facing the other way, and I'm just like, I can't watch any more of this. This is fucking guilty.
Were you too frightened?
Was it I shot my pants as soon as they said it was a demon. I was hiding behind the couch like this.
There's one thing that I've got to personally thank Zach Bagans for. He had the Annabelle doll, the original Annabelle doll, in his museum. And all this myth around the Annabelle doll, that if you touch it, you're going to die, some really bad thing's going to happen to you, and, just don't touch this Annabelle doll, which is bollocks because, sorry, the Annabelle doll's not haunted and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a rag doll. But because of all this myth around Annabelle, he had it in his museum, and Zach Bagans touched it. Now, the guy that has the Annabelle doll, Tony Sapira or Sepra, I don't know how you pronounce his name, he grabbed the doll, put it in a case, and then marched off with it because he touched this doll. And then you see Zach, a few days after, nothing happens to him, and he's still alive today. But it proves my point. that these haunted dolls do not exist. And Zach Bagans made a point of touching it, and he shot himself in the foot, really, because he believes in haunted items and things like that. But he actually touched the Annabelle doll to
You know,
prove.
do you know what though? When they do something like that, it makes you wonder whether they do actually believe in it for real. Because if somebody said to me, I mean, I believe that there's energies, and I believe that negative energies can have all sorts of, cause problems in your life. So if somebody said to me, this doll is renowned for whatever, you touch that, I wouldn't go anywhere near it.
I'll touch it. I'll touch it.
But the thing is, if you believe in it, you wouldn't, would you?
But
If
would
you
that
don't
not be
believe in it, then you'd be happy to touch it.
would that not be the power of suggestion? Or like, just taking prime example, like I go to Ian's one time, and he says about the Aleister Cowley. There's Aleister Cowley's like tarot cards, and these they bring Aleister Cowley to you, and he keeps telling me this over and over and over again. And you get to a point where you actually, I always say this in like paranormal, if you go out with the mentality, I'm going to get something, and you just like keep going through that in your head, and you're determined that everything's paranormal.
But that's the thing, though, isn't it? But you could say that about anything. Everything that we do and everything we touch and everything we work with that's meant to be haunted, call it haunted or call it an energy attached to it, that could all be psychosomatic, couldn't it? So in that case, does the paranormal really exist? Or is this something that we're inflicting upon ourselves? Whereas if you believe in it fully, would you really want to touch it?
But then again, suppose with the energy thing going into the item, and you have like the energy that's built up within the item, like for example, taking Ian's cards. Someone who knew Aleister Crowley very well had these cards, which now are in your possession. So their energy, the build-up of their energy or their very essence could be on the cards, which could cause issues, but not to the way that people would lead you to believe, oh, that's haunted. Don't touch that.
No, I think
it's not going to kill. It's not going to kill
hold
you.
on to your memory. The material, the items, just hold on to the memories. I think.
Yeah.
Personally, that's what I believe. But would I touch something like that if it had such a renowned background with it? Probably not.
I would.
Probably not, because I believe in it.
I got me bone. I've just
There you
oiled
go.
it, so doesn't smell so bad. But the oil.
I don't know. It's
a
a bone of contention, isn't it? I mean, do you believe in it? Don't you believe in it? I don't know. I think if you're willing to go and do something like that, do you really believe in what you say you believe in?
I don't remember. Should we cheat and skip the shit? Yeah,
I think that was acting on both counts, June's and his.
Definitely on Zach's.
Yeah, definitely. And June. I've seen June. Don't worry about that. I used to watch Taps. That group has never thrilled me. If you're going to touch a doll, make sure to use hand sanitizer.
Especially if it's a blow-up one.
Yeah.
Do you know only fools and horses came into my head there when you said that, Dan?
Blow-up dolls.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Yvonne.
Yvonne.
Yo, Terry.
Tell's in the house.
Tell in the house. Sorry, Yvonne. Hello.
But I suppose, right, I'm no one for like ghost shows. I know it sounds ironic, right, that I came into the paranormal and I've never watched a ghost show, right? But I just don't see what the big has about them. Like honestly, like I've seen where like I seen an article recently. They were talking about this couple that does it, like the shows, but I can't remember who. And she's apparently in the room sensing what she can sense, right? And then I think he sat down beside her and she threw him across the room. And I'm like watching that saying to myself, no, he's probably flung himself across the room. I'm like that. I just don't see the big you have, but ghost problems.
No, I agree with you. I think they don't really serve any purpose for me, to be honest with you. I think it's just nonsense. And I think that, I mean, the only good thing that may have come out of them is it's brought the paranormal sort of into the mainframe.
Mhm.
so that it's not that sort of tucked away little dark secret that people hold anymore.
Hmm.
You know, so it's kind of highlighted it and brought it forward, which is good. But as you say, I don't even watch the paranormal anymore.
Hi, Robert.
Hi, Robert.
Here's one for you, Grandad. How can a clown be afraid of clowns?
Well, if it's it, that's a whole different clown.
I think
If you see one down a sewer, don't say hi.
Yeah.
Run.
I think he might be in this house. Look behind me.
I had to clear a sewer
Balloon.
the other day, and trust me, I wouldn't want to live down there. So any clown that does, I'll keep them.
Who is the biggest clown in Ghost Adventures?
Zach.
Oh, it's got to be Zach Bacon's, hasn't it? Without a shadow of a doubt, I would think. The others,
I've
Really?
got
the followers,
to
didn't they?
agree to that one as well. And I only
Don't you-
watched the 2-minute clip.
Don't you think it's Aaron Goodwin because the way he sort of and
I
he
think-
does these stupid things like and he
I-
runs backwards and then he runs forwards and then he runs backwards again and then he's like against the wall.
I'll be honest with you. I think Aaron Goodwin's a dog. I think what he does is if Zach threw a bone, he'd chase it.
Yeah.
If he said to go and get something and do something, he'd do it. Because I mean, Zach talks to him like a piece of crap most of the time.
They're really good friends off the show. They're really close.
They might be, but I wouldn't be able to work with him if I was Aaron Goodwin. I wouldn't be able to work with him. But no, Zach is, isn't he? I think Zach's.
Oh, Zach just annoys. He goes into a property and just annoys the hell out of everything that's there, and then sends Aaron off to sit on his own in a room with him.
Exactly.
So who's the
Exactly.
brave one?
Yeah.
We have
Not Zach.
we have some insider information from someone who had Ghost Adventures at their property to film one of their episodes. And they stayed at this gentleman's property for a full week, wasn't it, Dan? Near enough a week.
Yeah, it was a week. Yeah, it was about a week.
And this gentleman told us that Zach cried like a baby.
Run out.
Really cried like a baby and ran out because he dealt with something that he had no control over. And then when he came back in to do his piece to camera, he kept stuttering and couldn't get his words out.
Yeah.
And our friends that had him in his house thought it was highly amusing and took the mickey out of him then forevermore. I say he ran crying out of my house like a baby. Boo!
He did, yeah. I didn't have to go and get him to bring him back in, didn't they?
Yeah.
I know Keith Linder, and people might remember Demons in Seattle episode where they spent 5 hours there and nothing happened. And they accused the man and woman that lived there, Keith and his girlfriend, of faking everything.
In 5 hours?
After 5 hours, nothing happened. They were faking it.
It's not even lunch break, is it?
And Keith contacted me, but he also contacted Dom Phillips and Steve Neary, who went over for 6 days.
Right.
And they got so much evidence, they came back here, left it a week, went back for another 6 days and took a guy from the Scottish SPR with them, and he verified everything they got. Now, if that gets released in America, Zach's going to look a complete idiot because they got so much evidence over there. It was unreal.
Yeah.
See, that's one thing about these TV shows that annoys me as well. Is we've got 24 hours or whatever, or we've got this short window frame. And it is short, isn't it? And you know yourself. I mean, I've worked on investigations where you've got nothing. Or you said, I want to do a particular investigation. I've had people say to me, I wouldn't bother going there. There's absolutely nothing there. And they're telling you this in their, I don't know, 7 hours of experience that they spent in this building.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you can't say that because it didn't happen for you doesn't mean that it's not going to happen for everybody else, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what really annoys me with it.
Even with private cases, we can go there 2 or 3 times before we get anything. And that's just
Exactly. And I think, you know what, I did an investigation quite a few years ago now, and it was at an old it was like a church.
Spot on, Jason. Absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
It was a church. And we did it.
Sorry, you go, Dan.
Go on, sorry, Lois. We did it over the course of a year. And it took a year to correlate all the information, cross-reference it, and then peel away. And that's only sort of after we did all that could we turn around and actually verify that some of the activity we got there was paranormal. And it only started to happen the longer we were there.
Yeah,
because it was like they got used to you and they accepted you, you know?
I mean, sometimes you can get absolutely nothing because they think, who are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then another time, they'll kick off because you walked in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say, like, in the defense of Ghost Adventures, right, I'm going to be the one person that you three guys are going to hate. I like seeing the places that they go to. Now, I've been lucky enough to have been able to visit some of the places that have been on Ghost Adventures, and I've wanted to go there because I've seen it on Ghost Adventures. For example, the Shanghai tunnels, and I recently went to Wolf Creek Inn, and one of their old mining town villages, things that they investigated there. Now, take away the dramatisation that Ghost Adventures put in to make it look entertaining for people watching. Because if nothing happened, it'd be a boring place. And every single, and I don't care who you are, whatever TV show that it is that you're watching, whether it's Taps, Ghost Adventures, Most Haunted, whatever, they're all going to put fakery in it, whether it's done subtly so you don't really notice, or whether it's done in a way that's really obvious like Ghost Adventures. But they do bring about their own interesting niches. Like, I wouldn't investigate the same way they do, but I'm very interested in the places that they do go to investigate. So for me, it's apt that Ghost Adventures is on the Travel Channel, and I travel and I go to some of the places that they showcase. So it's all about the place and the history and not about the investigation for me. I do like Ghost Adventures for that. And it has opened my eyes to a lot. Ghost Adventures has.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't have a problem with Ghost Adventures. As an entertainment program, it's great. But the problem is Zach will come out with statements which are completely untrue.
Yeah.
And the argument I had with him was, have you seen Demon House?
Yes.
Was that the one he bought?
Yes.
Yeah. At the beginning of that, he states that he is one of the top paranormal researchers in the field. He's also one of the top demonologists in the field, and he's also one of the top paranormal investigators in the field. And I turned around to him and said, you're not one of the top paranormal researchers because Jeff Belanger does your research, and it states that at the end of the program. I've worked with Jeff, and I know he does your research. So, and then I said, you've done a course in demonology. I've done parapsychology, but that doesn't make me a parapsychologist.
No, exactly.
And he's not a paranormal investigator. He's a ghost hunter because he doesn't solve anything.
No.
He causes more problems than he seizes.
I want to say, doesn't a demonologist in America mean something completely different from a demonologist in the UK? The actual definition of demonologist American is not what.
Yeah, Zach probably changed the meaning to fit himself, I expect.
Yeah,
I think it's just Americans, to be fair.
But to be honest, if you're a proper demonologist, you've got to know the ins and out of the cow's backside. To be honest, I mean, I think that Michelle Bellinger, she's a demonologist because she knows just about everything.
Do you know? I'll be honest. I don't think a demonologist exists outside of somebody's own sphere of their own study.
And
faith. Exactly. Yeah. Where would you go and get a qualification for that? I don't have a qualification to study that.
Your church.
Yeah, maybe ecclesiastical or something like that. But there's no actual. You can't label it. This is another thing with these programs as well. They've all got to have labels, and labels really piss me off. Everybody's got to have a label, and that's the thing. Demonologist, and the amount of people call themselves parapsychologists that might have done, I don't know, something on the internet. Do you know what I mean?
The one
it takes
that
3 degrees to become a parapsychologist.
Yeah, You've got to do sociology, psychology. You've got to do all the other ologies that go with it. Yeah, and it takes years.
Yeah.
I mean, I did parapsychology to make me a better investigator, so it was easier for me to be able to debunk things. That's
But
why
that's different, isn't it? That's different, though. You're not going around parading yourself. I've seen them. They do these courses online. Automatically, they get cards made up with their name and the parapsychologist written on it. And it's like, for God's sake, come on now. You know.
So Ghost Adventures, right? I want to bring it back to Ghost Adventures. What would you say was your best episode, if you've watched it,
Excuse me.
and why? And what is your worst and why?
I would say best one, right? I'm only going by this clip. I liked the place because it looks pretty cool. And it was the bridge. It was a bridge that they were on, and it looks the pretty cool one, right? I would have to say, right, that would be also in the worst because of the way that the investigation was conducted. But apart from that, as you say, Viv, I like watching wee clips of places, but it's how they conduct the investigation that I'm no too keen on.
Yeah, Goatman's Bridge. Yeah,
That was at Goatman's Bridge because I liked the story behind Goatman's
Oh,
Bridge.
they're interesting stories, aren't they?
I've got the patch for Goatman's Bridge because it's actually a cryptid that actually does exist, but their episodes sort of it was entertaining for what it was, you know. But what was yours, Dan?
Struggling still.
Me? Oh, without a doubt, my favourite one was, well, the only one that I really liked was the one where they did Tombstone. But that's because of the history of Tombstone. So I'm quite a big fan of Wild West history, and especially like the fight that gunfight the OK Corral. I'm really invested in that, and I like the whole going around to the Birdcage Theatre, investigating Tombstone itself, and just the whole town, and the fact that. So I'm a big fan of John Wayne as well, and the fact that he had a house there and he sat out on the veranda drinking whiskey and what have you. I loved it. Loved that one. But that was because of it's the history, like you said earlier. It's the places they take you to and the background that they give you on it, information that they dig up. You know.
And what was your worst, Dan?
That's about the Jeff information.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
What was your worst? Yeah.
All of the others. I just didn't like. I've never been a big fan of them. You know, never been a big fan of them at all. But it might be different if Zach weren't spearheading it, because to me he's the big problem with it. He's the main problem with it.
I should get Jeff and put him at the front, because not being funny, Jeff has hosted programs.
Exactly. He's a seasoned investigator as well, isn't he?
Yeah,
so,
he is.
You know, so you do well with that.
What's your favourite and your worst, Grandad?
My favourite is probably the one where they didn't get anything, Demons in Seattle.
Yeah.
And then for them to be proved wrong later on, because that actually shows he's not as good as he thinks he is. I don't know the worst ones.
Everyone
watched the whole episode of, I expect, and actually sat there to the end. I mean, as you say, the locations are brilliant. And if you watch the first bit of the show when they're just talking about the place, it's great.
It's really interesting.
I must admit, they're really good.
It says the word demon, you just want to, I'll turn the telly off.
Yeah,
but you know what my favourite one is ever is when they went to Ireland and Aaron gets scratched by a demon on his ear and he screams and he's crying. I don't know, the tears and everything that this poor guy's doing. I can genuinely feel that something happened. He must have got a spider that dropped off the cave and fell down his ear roll. And he thought, because he's got a demon in his head, yeah. So he genuinely believes that the demon scratched him. So he's in this buggy coming down off this hill, crying his eyes out with Zach sitting next to him. And then they stop for a second and then they hear something that sounds like a banshee in the forest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Totally like, they didn't expect to film that, but when they got that, it made Aaron more on edge and he cried even more because not only did a demon scratch him, but he's now got a banshee screaming at him and it just put him into a frenzy. And why I like that and why I like to see him crying like that is because I can relate to feeling scared like that. to the point where I am in tears. Can't I, Dan?
Yeah, I don't know what makes you do it though.
Yeah, so seeing that level of genuinely being scared, and that was genuine, you could see it. I liked that program for that. The worst one that of Ghost Adventures was when they were down in some cave and they made it into a hotel. You can go and stay there or something, and then they split up and rocks are being thrown and all this sort of thing. And I just thought, well, that's just typical of anywhere you go in a cave or cave type experiences where things do fall off the ceiling and it's not being thrown. It's actually a natural occurrence that the cave does itself. So to me, I thought that was a bit pants, really. But to see somebody genuinely react to something that's happening beyond his control, whether it's paranormal or not, I thought for me, when they went to Ireland and that happened, that was brilliant.
I mean, with the Banshee, that could probably be explained, because if they checked their watch, it was closing time at the pub.
Yeah, it could be anything, but you know, they sort of over dramatize everything and wind themselves up, so that when they get themselves into a frenzy and something is happening that they don't know what, and you can genuinely see the fear, I think is the best ones.
That's the thing, though. You breed the fear into yourself, don't you? You can just builds up.
Guess what?
Woohoo! Chantel in the room. Chantel in the room. Chantel's in the room. Yeah, Chantel.
But you know what?
Hello, Annette.
Nettie's in the room.
Nettie's in the room.
Yeah, do you know what? I can imagine. Do you guys ever watched Grave Encounters? Like the film Grave Encounters? And I can just imagine Zach standing there, right? See if you haven't, right? It's basically they fake it until they actually it happens, and then they absolutely shit themselves. So I've got a total vision of Lance Preston being Zach Baggins standing there going, right, we'll make it look good, and then when it actually does happen, him actually shitting himself.
I mean, we spent time with you remember this, Dan? We spent time with Aaron's sister.
Yeah,
Amy Goodwin. And we talked about Ghost Adventures and
she's a nice girl.
Yeah, and she was telling us about her brother then, that when things, you know, yes, stuff will be dramatized for TV, but when stuff does happen, that he absolutely does shit himself. And sometimes you need someone like Zach to be screaming and barking orders to get him to snap out of that frenzy. I think like that's what Dan has to do to me, you know, and I can relate to that particularly. Oh, Jason's made me laugh.
Yeah, it's your name.
I've had to come and get the gossip on this topic. I'm show hopping because the same topic just came up in another show I'm watching.
You know, that is Ghost Adventures slagging us off.
Yeah.
Probably.
They're doing us.
It'll be like Zach saying, that bitch stole my name.
Yeah, put me and Zach on the TV and we'll have a little discussion about this.
We'll put you and Zach in a boxing ring together.
I'll just kick
till Zach gets possessed by a demon and then decides he's got to go off somewhere.
Yeah. I'll take AC with me.
You'd have to get yourself a wrestling name, like his would be Zach the Demon Hunter or something, and you'd be...
And I'd be Crack the Baggins.
Yeah.
I know why women like him, because he's got a good body, he's got some muscles, and he has got a nice shape to him. So women, a lot of women watch him. I don't, but I've heard of a lot of women watch Ghost Adventures for Zach because of because they like looking at him. Really,
if you're watching a ghost hunting show, you don't expect someone to take the shirt off, do you?
No.
I mean,
but he knows who his target audience are.
Bigfoot in Alaska. Hang on, I just got to take my shirt off. Here he comes. He's in me now with my shirt off.
Some people do, or they wear extra tight ones. Because I've seen Taps, they wore an extra tight one. Zach wears an extra tight one.
Yeah. I don't see the big impression in him. I would rather have Dan any other day of the week than Zach
What, in my
Baggins.
string vest?
Take
Oh,
your
aye.
shirt off, Dan. Dan, you'll have to take your shirt off when you're
That'll make the
investigating.
ratings go, mate. We've got very few people watching as it is. I will do, Jason. I promise, mate.
No.
Never on my shift will it come off. I promise.
Lois,
never live on
Dan,
TV or
me and
internet.
Lois will tell you, you can leave your hat on.
Oh,
You
leave
can
your
leave
hat
your
on.
hat on.
And your
And
shoes.
take your shirt off.
Listen, if you are too warm and you want to take your shirt off, I don't mind. Let's carry on. Okay.
We'd tell Grandad he'd have to put his shirt back on.
I've got to be respectable being a granddad.
Yes,
You have.
That's
You
right.
have.
That's right. Oh, hang on. Somebody. Hang on.
Yeah, I saw that one. It still wet me on the ears.
I just don't see when people were talking about Zach
That's
Baggins.
exactly it, Chantal.
I was expecting more. I don't know why.
You were what, sorry?
I was expecting more. I don't
What,
know
from
why.
what?
More what? What, trousers off as well?
No, definitely no. No with Zach Baggins. No.
That'd be the next thing, wouldn't it? When the viewings drop.
Oh, God, can you imagine it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know he's at rock bottom when he starts helicoptering with his knob.
That's a whole different show.
It is. Zach's
Oh
nipples
my-
are possessed.
Oh my God, your conscience.
Well, that's a difference to dowsing rods, isn't it?
They'll be me swinging the dowsing. Oh, wow.
Dear. Poor. But you know what? I mean, love them or hate them, I think Ghost Adventures have brought something to the paranormal field, whether it is the equipment, because what's his name? Chapel.
Bill Chappell, yeah.
Bill Chappell designs and makes stuff purely for them. And if it wasn't for Ghost Adventures,
Well,
you
they've
wouldn't.
certainly showed the world how not to do it.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
wouldn't have the Ovilus, and you wouldn't have the SLS camera, and you wouldn't have other forms of electronic equipment that he's designed with Ghost Adventures in mind, and then brought it to the public. So they have got some things that we have to thank them for as fellow investigators or fans or whatever of the show. I love my Ovilus, and I'll always use my Ovilus. So I've had some amazing stuff that's happened through that. And, and if it wasn't for Ghost Adventures, I certainly wouldn't have one. I know that for a certainty. So there is I am going to bring out the good points in Ghost Adventures, because I do believe that they have brought some good. A lot of it is just entertainment. But again, it's just like using common sense, isn't it?
I think that's it. I think as long as it stays on entertainment and people don't treat it with any kind of, don't treat it with any sort of respect in, that it's anything other than entertainment, then I think that's fine. But
if they had that many demons in America, they'd be in serious trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Syphilis demon.
Oh, watch out.
Well, string vests on.
Yeah.
I was too warm, so I went in costume.
Yeah. Zach's in costume.
I'm glad you've taken that ginger jumper off. I didn't know if you were upside down or what way up you were.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
I've caught your cold.
just like most talked it in the beginning, the genuinity was there. Just our ego and fame and everything else took over.
It did. It did.
But is that not the way it starts out if you look at it really in the paranormal? people start out, they want small things, let's go out, let's make it fun.
Click it.
And then suddenly people become interested in watching them, and then he just goes bigger and bigger, and then they want bigger things. I've seen it with teams that I've seen it with a lot of teams out there where they're fine with one thing and they're happy, and people might now get interested, so they want to start doing bigger things, and it's just like takes the fun out of it, really.
I think that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Sorry, mate.
a lot of it's the production teams. But in the favour of the production teams always want money pullers, blah, blah, blah. But Ghost Adventures and Most Haunted, they're their own production team. So they haven't got that excuse to hide behind. Whereas a lot of the other programmes have.
But in fairness to Zach, though, he is a fucking amazing businessman.
Oh, he is.
I mean, he came from nothing, and that man's worth millions now. And it's not just off the TV programs alone. I mean, his side businesses, like his Haunted Museum. I mean, he's making stupid amounts of money throughout the travel industry that go to these people want to go to his Haunted Museum or go to Vegas. Oh, we'll go and visit his Haunted Museum. And not only that, the exhibits that he's buying to put in it, like to own something that Charles Manson owned for. He's got his shirt, hasn't he? That he wore when he was.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I
mean, he's got these artifacts in this. I mean, a lot of it is gore and just curio items. But he's invested money, he's made money, invested money, and still making shitloads more money. So, and the amount of people that want to be on his shows, I know of people that have fallen out with one another to get on his show. You know, I know people that have been on his shows, a number of people that have been on his shows, and they say how, you know, he's a nice man and he's not backward in sort of giving them 50 quid to go and buy them, you know, lunch, you know, go and get yourself lunch, and here's 50, you know, here's some money, go and get your lunch. And, you know, your lunch is not going to cost you 50 quid, but that's what he's putting in your hand to go and treat yourself to a bit of lunch, or, you know, he's providing this, that and the other for people so they're comfortable. And so long as the show is a big hit, because he's nowhere near, is he, a stupid man. He's quite a clever man, in fact. And I think he doesn't get the credit for that side of things. People just see the TV program and that's it.
I think it's falling out with people because like them fighting with each other or Zach Baggins, that's mental. That's just like, why would you even do that?
I know that there was a disagreement because, and I'm gonna say names. I'm gonna say Nick Groff and Zach Bagans were both the executive producers. It was both their babies, with Zach leading, being the main man in front of camera.
That was Nick Groff started it. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, they fell out.
Started that. That was Nick Groff's baby.
They fell out, and it was a purely personal thing between those two men, right?
Yeah.
And then it spills out over into the media, and the media will add a bit on, and they'll say this, that, and the other, and do this and do that, and it just becomes a snowball effect that then gives Zach more media time, more free advertising. You know, and he doesn't say. You never see him retaliate. You never see him. Not normally. You don't see him say too much about what's really going on. You don't see him give personal interviews. You don't see him going on a show and talking about this, that, and the other, where you just see everybody else do it, but not him. Why is that?
Do you know think that applies everywhere though, that when people badmouth, right, one team, right, then people will jump over to see what people are talking about, and then the numbers start going up and up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
No mentioning any names, but that happened to one team that's coming to my head.
Yeah, I know who you're thinking of.
Some got outbusted, and the next thing you know, they've had more followers than them did, because people have went, okay, let's see what the big deal about these people are, and they went and watched it and probably thought, oh, they're really good. So the numbers have went right up, and that, I think, obviously, because people are obviously saying they're shit or this or that.
People
Yeah.
love drama, don't they? They're always attracted to drama.
Do you like drama, Grandad?
Oh, I like a bit of drama. No.
What,
Only on the telly.
what about like paranormal teams like bitching and moaning about each other?
Oh, boy. You know,
Look, get on with it.
we've all got the same thing at the end of the day. We're all after the same thing. Why bitch?
I don't think we are. You know, some people are after
true.
the fame and fortune that's never going to happen. And then you've got other people that are the serious investigators that just have a passion for the paranormal. And then you have the other side, the triangle, which are the total whack jobs, the nut jobs that are out there. That
I've become
really
very frustrated with it lately, and you saw that it manifested itself a few weeks ago when we were doing an investigation. And the reason I got frustrated with it is because I said to you, and it's no disrespect, and I don't mean it disrespectfully, but we were doing an investigation. We're there trying to do the best that we can with the equipment we've got and the limited time that we're on. And there are other people there fucking around, mucking around, not taking it seriously, using it for titillation, seeing ghosts and imagining there's ghosts everywhere. And it's like I said to you, I can't work with these people anymore.
Yeah.
I just can't be dealing with them anymore. The people I want to work with are people that are dedicated to it and want to be involved in it 100% and not, well, basically not sensationalists.
Yeah.
You know, because the only person you're lying to at the end of the day is yourself. So,
I mean, it's fine if you're in it. I
don't mean that as a horrible thing.
No, it's fine if you're in it for a bit of fun. Then that's fair enough. But when you've got people out there that are trying to get answers, get to the truth, actually advance the field, and these people are messing around while they're trying to be serious, it's not very helpful at all.
No.
And do you know what
Definitely not you, Terry. You're one of the true professionals.
What amazed me was we had a celebrity in attendance, and I mean a celebrity, very nice man, very
man.
calm, very calming, and he's actually teaching us something which was new and brilliant. And you had these people sitting there that made themselves look like a right tit, saying, "Oh, in a former life, I've got unfinished business. Oh, this, that, and I felt so embarrassed for the celebrity that was there having to sit there and listen to all of this. And I must admit, the celebrity did handle himself very, very well. In fact, it made me like him more.
Yeah, definitely.
The way he handled it. You know who I'm talking about, Ian.
Yeah, he's there as well.
And that's
the thing. And that was that evening. That I think it was obviously it was a combination of tiredness and everything else that went on with it. But I'd really come to the point where I hit rock bottom. And I thought, I can't be dealing with these people anymore. I can't be working with them. And they are friends of mine, and I like them for who they are. They're lovely people. But you've either got to be on one side of the fence or the other. And I want to take it seriously, and I'm looking for answers. Same as you, Ian. Same as you, Lois. Same as you, Viv. And, same as Terry. And if you're not going to do that, then I'll be friendly with you, and I'll go out on investigations. But I don't want to be investigating with you full time.
Yeah.
When we were in Nottingham at the High Courts of Justice, I went off on my own. And then I was in the smaller court, and I was just standing there, listening out, just seeing what was going on in there. And one of the girls, Elizabeth, walked in. Anyway, so we started doing an EVP session, and we got answers about 4 times. Then we heard shuffling up on the balcony, and then she decided to tag along with me. We went down to the basement, and we were the dead man's cell. And I asked, "Are you chained up against the wall?" And we got the response, "I am." So the two of us going around, she was followed by, we were getting responses. We had the lift came up. We were down, there's a seating area, and there was a lift. And the door opened. It stayed open for about a minute and then shut. So we went up and asked the security guard, "Are the lifts working?" He goes, "Well, no, you have to activate them with a key." Okay, well, there's a lift just opened downstairs. He said,
"Well, itself,
someone's got to turn the key in the lift." So,
and that's the thing. I think if you've both got the same aims and objectives, like Viv, that's why I love working with Viv. is because we go out, we do our own thing, and because we've both got the same aims and objectives, same as you have, Ian, same as you, Lo, because we've got the same, it works well. And we get stuff that happens. And it's not just, pie in the sky. It's not just imagination. It's genuine stuff that happens. And it works well. I think if you're on the same plateau and you've got the same energy, maybe they can pick up on that. Maybe they think if you're treating them like a circus if you go there fucking around.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe they think, why should I bother with you? All you want to do is take the piss. I'll speak to these people.
See, that's what I love. I would love to work with you three because we've got good energy with each other, so it'd be interesting to see what we got.
All I got that song going off in my head now. Living it up in an elevator. When you're going down. I don't know. Anyway.
What, going down the market?
Down the
market. You start him off. Down the market. Oh, God. We haven't been to down the market for ages, Dan.
We haven't been there for ages.
We'll have to go to down the market.
I wonder if anyone else has had a rendition of We Will Rock You in the High Court of Justice like we did.
Oh, God, yes. Certainly built the energy up, didn't it?
It did. That's where that figure appeared twice.
Do you know that figure? Yeah. We were seeing this figure, and the guy sitting next to me first saw it. He's gone. He said, "Can you see up there?" He goes, "Can you see something just moving across?" He said, "I'm seeing legs going across." And I'm sitting there watching it, and then I saw it. I thought, "Shit!" I'm like, "Yeah, I just saw that." And he went, "Yeah, I just see it too." And then while we're trying to watch this, we had, let's just say, some joker, some tit sitting behind us, punching people in the back and making people feel uncomfortable for no reason at all. It was just ridiculous. So we ended up having to leave because of the people sitting behind us. But we were seeing this thing going backwards and forwards,
wasn't it?
As clear as day.
Because I didn't know, and I turned to you and I went, "Is there something up there? We've been looking at that." Because it was that plane, wasn't it? It was seen independently, and it was like, "What's that up there moving around?" It was like legs.
Yeah.
Moving up and down. Brian even jumped up, didn't he, and started looking around.
He said, "I saw that." Brian saw it.
Oh, it's a shame we can't do that, Terry.
Oh,
One
Terry.
day, mate, maybe.
Terry, I'll take you to this place where we see these things in the graveyard. Oh, my God.
Yeah, you'd love it, mate. It'd be perfect for you. You'd love it.
No, you wouldn't love it.
If I went out with you guys, it would be like going on the Friday and don't come home to the Tuesday. Yeah. I think that would be a scream.
Yeah. No sleep. That's us.
Thing is, though, Dan says, "Oh, should we go out somewhere? Like, just off the cuff, should we go somewhere? Where should we go? Oh, I fancy doing, let's say, a church." So he says, "Let's go somewhere different that hasn't been done." Okay, let's find a church. So we find a church and go and investigate. We're the first people to go and investigate this place, and it kicks off like you would not imagine.
It was unbelievable, wasn't it?
And then Dan says, "Oh, we'll go and find next week. Oh, I want to do a railway track, a disused one or something. We'll go and find a railway track that's not being used, and we'll go and do that." So we're not necessarily jumping on event companies that are events that have got hundreds and hundreds of people there. We run our own events. We do that anyway. But what we're trying to do is to try and find things outside of the box, something that has a little bit of history, something that's not been well documented. I mean, this thing, we opened a can of worms with this particular church and graveyard.
Didn't we just?
To the point where we now need, when I say an expert, we're going to be maybe taking one of the people that we've had on our shows that we've interviewed to this church, and maybe they'll dig into the history part of it a little bit more and maybe write a book out of it. But there is so much out there that people are missing because they want to do all these events and these big places that they see other people doing, that they're missing what's right under their noses. And it's quite it's a big shame, really, because if you did a bit of research, I don't think you should be doing people's houses if you're not what's the word I'm looking for? Experienced, whether it's a paranormal team or medium that has to go in
I agree.
afterwards, because the
Cause all
medium
sorts
has
of
to.
trouble.
They have to do so much work afterwards. There's one thing trying to prove it, and once that investigation's done, then what happens? The medium has to go in and work with the family, not just for that one night. It's over months and months and months to sort out the problems, or use the team to get professionals in that are educated and have the experience of doing this, that, and the other. And then you have the aftercare that goes on. So paranormal teams doing people's houses, unless you have the experience and are prepared to put in the aftercare, then I don't think you should be doing it.
No,
You know,
you're
and I
absolutely
think Ian, you'd know more about that than it. Well, I know,
Yeah,
but Ian,
I mean, it's a never-ending thing. I mean, we're still in contact with just about all of our clients.
yeah,
You have to be though, don't you? You have to be, really.
So fingers crossed. Most of them we've never had any go backs, but there are the ones that we have a child who is a sensitive and he's got mediumistic tendencies, and he's like a Belisha Beacon. We'll go in and sort one problem out, and then next year there's
next
something
thing comes.
Something else to
Yeah,
come in.
yeah.
He's walked past something that and reacted to it, and it's followed him home. So we've got another issue.
Hi, Irene.
Hi, Irene.
It's an ongoing thing with him, but you know, he's got to the age now where we can start teaching him how to deal with it, and maybe learn to ignore it. Okay, you see it, but don't react. You know.
But that's exactly what you just said. The pair of you hit the nail on the head there. It's different formats.
Yeah.
If you're doing an investigation on a venue, it's a totally different format when you're dealing with people. It's got to be, doesn't it? It has to be, because you're dealing with the psychology of it, then, aren't you? People are, you know, not only are they going through a bruised and battered time and they're unaware and they're frightened, but you've got to calm them down and try and reassure them and help them find answers. As we always say, you know, look, if we can't find an answer for you, then we'll get somebody who can.
Yeah.
You know? And we always keep contact with them, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah, we've made friends with some of them recently. I mean,
Yeah.
that big extreme case that I dealt with, I mean, sadly, the lady died, and I firmly believe that spirit took her, and it's left her husband, and, you know, he's grieving, and I stay in contact with him. Once in a blue moon, I've given him a call just to check up on him, and he's fine. But again, like, even after all these years, I consider them a friend. You know, what can I do? If there's anything you need from me, you pick up the phone. Yes, I'm fine. You know, and that's what you want to hear. I am fine. I'm okay. You know, I go into these private homes trying to discredit everything that they say. I'm not looking for a spirit. I'm not looking for a ghost. So when one pops up or something happens, it's like, oh shit, oh really? You know, and it's the total opposite from when you go to these events or you do these ghost hunts. It's the total opposite. And a lot of ghost hunters and mediums, or so-called mediums, because not everyone's a medium, but they like to think they are. They don't get it and they don't understand it because they haven't got that level of experience, the training, or the know-how. So it's one of those where my mediumship, I keep it to a minimum. Just keep it out of the way. It doesn't matter, you know, until it's needed.
Yeah, I mean, ghost hunts in general, you know, it's one. You're just there for a ghost hunt. Hopefully, you get something. You want a bit of evidence, blah blah blah. But a private case, there's so many other factors involved.
Yeah.
There's mental health.
Yeah.
You know, that can either be a trigger or it can be a cause.
Yeah.
You know, there's substance abuse. People don't realise, oh, right, yeah, I have the odd joint now and again. They don't realise they're opening themselves up.
Yeah.
You
know?
Yeah. There's all these other factors you have to take into consideration with a private case, and you have to eliminate every single one before you can actually deal with the issue.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, you don't see that on Ghost Adventures, though.
No,
Ghost Adventures go. What do they get? Was it Bishop Ryan and Sister Mary? I loved Sister Mary and Bishop Ryan. Have you seen those two? Sister
No.
Mary and Bishop Ryan on their shows? He does the exorcisms, and Sister Mary, she pins them down, and she's absolutely brilliant.
I'll tell you what I did see that made me laugh immensely was someone, it was after I'd had the back with Zach, someone sent me it. He did a live, they did a live at the museum with a Dibbit box.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And somebody sent me and said, Ian, you got to watch this. This is hilarious. Anyway, they had a rabbi on there and they were asking him, Zach saying, oh, you know, so can you tell us a little bit about Dibbit boxes and what they're all, and the rabbi starts saying, well, yeah, Dibbit boxes, they're meant for this and blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, are they dangerous? And he goes, well, in my experience, no, they're not dangerous. But if I was following your script, I'd be telling people that they're really dangerous.
Yeah.
And Zach's face just dropped, and he looked at the camera and stormed off. And the poor rabbi just followed him, thinking, "Oh, we're going down here now," and he's following. They're all stood there like absolutely silent because he just dropped a minute live on telly.
Never thought of it after.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. That's
the most important thing.
Yeah. If you agree to take on the case in somebody's house and you agree to help them, you'll get your paranormal team in, maybe with or without the medium. The medium will come in afterwards. You've done all the interviews. It's not just interviewing the people. It's asking them to keep diaries, or if they've kept a diary, you taking the diary to be able to digest what's going on. And to prove or disprove what their claims, it would be the investigation. But then the real work that happens afterwards is not just the medium going in, attempting to make it ease, explain. You've got the counselling that happens after that. The fact that children might be involved. If children involved here in the UK, you should be DBS checked, or those parents are with the children at any given time that you're alone with them, that you have a member of their family there with you. There's definitely so many laws and regulations, and you can't just go in somebody's house and do an investigation either.
No.
You want the people involved. Like, have you had background checks? Because I'd hate to think that I'd met Harry a few weeks ago. Yeah, he seems like a really nice guy and a really good investigator. He's got all the kit and everything. And I take him into a house where a woman has a problem with 5 children, all seeing spirits and the same thing. And Harry turns out to be a paedophile that is on a sex register. People are not even checking that members of their own team. They're just getting this guy on because he's got all this gear and he knows how to use it, and he's good with the camera and he's got the latest up-to-date flashy thing. We'll get him on our team. And they don't have a clue of who they're actually got on their team. So there's a lot to consider.
Do you know, you're really right there, Viv, as I told you. Well, I told you and Dan, but I'm not sure I told Ian about when a guy was bullying me and he was calling me the bully, and it turned out he was a pedo.
Yeah.
And one of the women that claims it's their medium was defending him. Oh, he's not like that, until all the evidence came out that he was. And he's on.
But that's the thing, isn't it? When you turn up an investigation, I mean, if you're going to do an investigation in a private property, I used to go with a list, and the questions I had to ask them were really, they were really sort of invasive. They were questions that were embarrassing, and it's like, well, if there's mental illness, what medication are you on? Then you go away and you check up the medications against the medical encyclopedia or on the internet, and you could see what the fallout of those drugs were, and all of this, and you do that. But we never question people that come along and join as members.
Yeah,
and that's the problem, isn't it?
I think you see, if you did that, that would work with your team a lot better.
It would.
But the problem with a lot of people is, and I only know this through my first team, was the first team I was ever with, we got Oh wow, Jason, I'm not even asking a question. We did like it was like an interview because like the guy who owned the team at the time, he was like, we want obviously you involved. There's so many people that do certain things, so the ones that bring the most to the team, why don't you just come and sit and do the interviews? And I was sitting there and I'm just looking at the people that were coming in and with the interview. I felt like actually quite awkward because I thought you feel like you're interviewing for a flatmate or something. And it's like the guy had like some of the people that were coming in, and one of the questions was, "What inspired you to come to paranormal or something like that?" And actually, 7 of them turned around and said, "Oh, I've watched Most Haunted. I've watched this. I've watched shows. I've been big fans." And I'm like, I'm sitting there and I can feel my body cringing. And sometimes I can't hide my facials. My facials are terrible, especially if I don't like you. My face is worse because my face gives me away. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, and I'm looking at Alex like that. I'm like, this guy went out and I went, see if one more tells me they're doing the paranormal because of the fucking ghost shows, I'm going to pay. I was like, no, because they really want to. It's personal. Don't do it because you're watching the fucking shows.
Do you know what? I'm glad I don't have to interview people for a team anymore, because first thing I do is, what do they smell like? Are they clean? Because if they don't smell clean, it represents the whole team. So somebody that comes in with BO, somebody who's scared of a bar of soap, then I look at their teeth. Do they brush their teeth? What state are their teeth in? Again, to me, I'm like that. Like, okay, some people do have like problems with teeth. I get that. But if they're not brushing their teeth, Then I look at their shoes. Are they relatively good in their appearance? Look at their shoes. Do they have a decent pair of shoes on? Have their shoes got holes in? Do they need a bit of a scrub? Are they dirty? Are they clean? What is it? And I'm looking at all of these factors now, because these people are going to represent me and what I do. And if they're not up to my standards, see ya.
I must admit, I would be for I must admit, see if a guy's got a good aftershave, like dupe or something, then they're in. One in. Like,
You know what they say about big feet, big hands.
Big hand, yeah.
Big plates.
Big plates. Yeah, big plate.
I always say, I must admit, when people look at me, they look at my feet first, and they'll go, "What fucking size?" And I'm like, 10.5.
Big hands.
See if I was a guy, I'd be absolutely over the moon way down below. I says, but up the top, I've not got quite anything there. So you're fine.
Jason, next time Viv visits Oregon, I guess I've got to brush my teeth.
Well, it does explain what you were getting up to in Nottingham. Now I understand.
Oh dear. Terry's going to leave his teeth at home.
Leave his teeth at home in a jar.
Yes, you know what they call Terry? He's a big sucker.
I'm saying nothing.
Yeah, I'm not even going to ask.
I know about Terry. He's Terry 2 willies anyway.
Terry 3 willies, isn't it now?
Me and Viv know about Terry and these willies.
Terry and he's a 3 willy Terry.
Terry 3 willies.
Yeah, we know about Terry.
What we really
no.
But oh wow,
you can't sing that anymore, can you? You're not allowed to sing that.
We're allowed to in Scotland because we've got Oh Willie.
Oh, really?
That's true.
But no, it's just like people with common sense to have. When you've got other people that you're dealing with, and you're going to be mixing with these other people, just to have a sense of hygiene. And I've seen many teams that have people on their team that have no hygiene values at all.
Oh God!
And if they can't look after themselves, how the hell are they going to look after a client that's in need?
Yeah.
Really, seriously, doesn't work like that.
But look at the bright side. You've got ones that love to decorate fire extinguishers and set them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look at the publicity that brought
They were two ghosts, two children.
in
They
red.
were.
They weren't fire extinguishers, Lois. You're mistaken.
Look, I know, I mean, it broke my heart, you know. I was absolutely pushing my frillies at the thought of these have actually got evidence.
Did you not see the one of the Grim Reaper in the graveyard, which was obviously one of them in a cloak?
Oh yeah, I saw that one. Oh, Carl's come up with a good question. So your lovely guest, what are your guys' backgrounds?
They're presenters, Carl. They're presenters.
Are you guys? But we're talking about
He's
our
about
back-
you two. He's
two.
about you and Ian.
Yeah, he knows
Oh,
about
really?
me. He
He's
knows
known us
about
for
me. And that.
years.
Yeah. So what's your background then, Mr. Ian Tolley? Grandad Ian Tolley?
My background, oh God, been around since the year dot.
He's old.
Yeah, but Carl knows me anyway from Sage.
Oh, there you go. There you
There you go then. We won't bother with that.
There you
Right, on to Lois.
Lois, what's your background?
Oh,
Apart from some wallpaper and a headboard.
yeah.
Flowers.
I mean, I hate that shitty wallpaper. But my background is basically, I lost and stray, really. I just see me land at Everybody's Door podcaster, investigator, pain in the arse,
Oh,
full of nonsense.
Yeah, she's been doing it for a while, Carl, as
she
well.
has.
No, I have.
And she's
She's
got,
been doing it quite a while.
Robert says you've got good interview skills.
She has.
Thank you
She's
very much.
good.
I do try.
Oh, I didn't know that, Carl. I hope you're doing all right, buddy.
Hope you're okay, honey.
Get better soon, Carl. That's rotten, that is.
Oh, yeah, that's really debilitating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope you're all right, mate. I hope you're getting better.
Oh, by the way,
Oh.
if anyone's interested, go and have a look at www.trunkmeetcarl.
Yeah.
He sells T-shirts and all sorts of goodies on there.
He does.
So,
His baseball caps and all that sort of merch, isn't it, I think?
yeah.
He's always
So-
got sandwich stuff in his boot.
Has
He's
he?
got what?
He's always got food in his boot. That's where it comes from.
Really?
Yeah. Any Sage event, he's always got food in the boot of his car.
He's well prepared.
well
Well,
prepared.
it's a bit prepared, but he's like Tesco's Express.
There you go, Carl. I always thought trunk meat was American for a hearse with a body in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't say it was edible food, Dan.
Yeah.
Oh, bless him.
I'm
Oh,
saying nothing.
Yeah, that's the website down there.
There you go.
Cool news.
Perfect.
We've had some
Very-
funny setups with food on investigations. In fact, we was at the cage in St. Offsyth, and Laurie Schaefer turned up with 4 boxes of Krispy Kreme donuts.
Oh my god.
4 boxes, and it was I think there was 8 of us there. I think trying to
Well,
do
I
it.
mean-
Boxes.
Oh.
Me and Dan, we just every time we go past Dan and Market,
Yeah.
there's a place that we go past was it called the Cow Burgers or something? Was it Cow something?
Cow gourmet, something, isn't it? Cow. Oh, I can't remember.
Something about a
Cow-
cow's gourmet burgers or something.
Something,
So
isn't it? It's something.
we're gonna have to go one day and check this cow out.
Definitely.
But we see
There you
the
go.
strangers.
Carl has verified it is because of the food in the boot. I got the nickname of Truck Meat Carl.
Ah, bless him.
I can't believe we've done the show for 1 hour and 10 minutes. I only feel like we've been on for 5 minutes.
I
Oh,
know.
by the way,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Wee Wanker's not on tonight because he's away with the fairies on his drugs because of his work injury. So
I thought you were going to tell me somebody's finally popped his cherry, but okay.
No. He might have done it himself.
Poor bloke.
Well, it
Oh
has
yes,
been
we had a
5
good meal in there, Terry. Well, did we have we ordered Chinese out of there as well, Terry.
We went into the pub next door and had a meal in there before the investigation at the cage as well.
I think we what do you call it as well once. Terry, remind me if I'm wrong, didn't we have Gurkha food delivered? We had Gurkha food delivered to the cage as well one evening.
But did people have the same problem as me, right? Because I got the postcode for the cage, and it took me somewhere else. And when I phoned, I phoned up Skepta Paranormal, and they said, "Oh, we'll give you the postcode for the Chinese next door because you'll be able to find it easier." And it was like another 10-minute journey.
Do you know what? I think you're right.
I didn't.
It was the Chinese postcode I had.
Yeah.
I think
Because
you're
the
right.
postcode for the house takes you somewhere else.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right. Yes, that rings a bell, actually.
Andy just drove straight there because he used to go park because he works down Essex Way quite a lot and he knew exactly where it was. So we just drove straight there and we parked literally right outside the house.
But are they still open for investigation or?
No,
I know she's sold it now, hasn't she? Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's been sold, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's back to being normal.
Good luck.
Didn't if I remember rightly, there was a car accident and a car drove straight into the front of it and damaged all. You know where the window was at the front.
Wow.
Damaged all of that, so all that had to be repaired, and it put sort of delays on selling the house. That's why it took her so long to sell it. It's nothing to do about it being haunted. It was the fact that somebody had driven into the house.
What I couldn't believe when we got there was the fact all the shackles were still hanging up on the wall.
I know. Unbelievable, wasn't it?
Really?
We moved the table and saw the bit underneath where she's got that. Underneath the table, there was a bit underneath that she called it the cellar. It's no cellar. It was just a hole in the ground that somebody had dug. You know, it was just, it was silly, really. But we know a lot of stories about the cage.
Oh God.
Yeah. What went on behind the scenes.
Terry's totally put me in the mood for a Chinese now.
Well,
it was Paracon, Terry. You're right. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I still had the skills to get round that house without making a noise, which unnerved everybody I was investigating with. Especially at the bottom of the staircase, because there's a door, isn't there?
That's it, yeah. Yeah,
I actually got down the stairs without making a noise, and I think MJ Dixon opened the door and nearly went through the ceiling.
Really? Oh, bless her. Hang on, I've got a snippet bone.
Oh my God.
No, I'll put some oil. I'll put some
There's
oil
too many
on
euphemisms tonight.
No, I've got to put some oil on it to make it smell better.
Yeah.
It's not making me heave. It's not making me heave, but it doesn't smell too good. So it's going to have over a couple of weeks. It's going to have to be infused.
I thought you said you didn't like anyone with a smelly bone.
No.
Is there cheese down that bone? Is there a cheesy rim on that bone?
Look at that cheese in there.
Cheesy rim on your bone.
Oh my God.
Dan, you're going to have to play a tune on that bone when I see you.
Drumming my old bone.
Everyone needs a good bone.
Mind you, there's some folk in the paranormal
It was lovely, Harry.
that are trapped. Maybe they need a good bone.
True.
Now I bought this Peruvian bone, thinking it comes from Peru, that thing, and I thought it would be a good thing to have in your arsenal, you know, and learn about this Peruvian bones and calling the ancestors and all that sort of thing. So just a bit of research, really. But when you smell that thing, it's awful. Made me heave. I wanted to be sick. Oh,
brilliant.
No, it's not. Dan, you're just nasty to me.
Oh, of course.
So, Alistair Crowley.
Yeah.
I've been watching your
I'm back
feed.
in a minute. I'm back in a minute.
I've been watching your feed to see if the lights flicker at all or if anything goes on in the background. I haven't seen anything yet.
Funnily enough, when we first went live, all the cameras went off for me.
Oh, did they? Oh,
Really?
did they?
Wow.
Oh.
And I thought it was everybody, but none of you reacted, so I never said anything.
That was you then. So something did happen.
Yeah, behave.
Oh,
I didn't have it open for long.
So when you have that thing open, does things happen in your house then?
If it's been, if the salt's been off the box for a while, yes.
oh wow.
But then the salt's got glass between it and the box, so would it be that much of a threat for it?
Well, it seems to be working, so I'll stick with it.
Okay. Do you not sprinkle the salt on the box?
No, I'll just make sure it keeps it shut.
Okay.
That's why I loved. See, I was kind of confused at first because I was like looking at the salt, thinking, "Why has it got that on top of the box?" But I can understand why now.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have to do incantations around it and stuff to?
I don't do it. I'll just leave it like that.
Okay. It's
Sometimes-
working, so.
Sometimes the wife moves it and have you taken it off there? She'll say, only for 5 minutes. Okay.
Back in the room.
So if anything happens in the house, then it's your wife's fault then. Just
Nah.
for moving it.
I mean, I have taken it off now and again when I've been moving stuff around, but you know, every now and again we'll have something bounce across the kitchen or.
Does she mind you? Going out investigating. If you bring something back, does it unnerve you, Mrs.? Do you think?
She finds it entertaining.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, she likes it. We
That's
had something
funny.
happen. I think she was out one day. I think she was at work, and I came home. And yeah, we have these potpourri things in little squares on the bathroom, both the toilet, downstairs toilet, and the bathroom wall.
Right.
And they just launch across the room for no reason at all. And the one downstairs, which is basically the other side of this wall across the hall, this potpourri thing launched so fast it hit this wall with a thud.
Oh.
And she missed it. When I told her about it, she goes, "Why am I never at home when this stuff happens?"
She's got a good sense of humour, isn't she, your
Yeah.
missus?
She thinks it's entertaining.
Oh, bless her. Would she ever go ghost hunting, though, do you think? Or
Oh,
go
she
out
has
with you?
Yeah, she has come with me. Yeah,
Does she enjoy it?
yeah. She won't do a venue more than once.
Yeah.
Once she's been there, that's it. That's enough.
Yeah, fair
Really,
enough.
really.
Sounds like Andy.
I'll keep going back. You know,
Yeah.
like
Sounds.
true crime
sounds
again
like-
for the fourth time.
Are you?
Fourth time.
Yeah.
It's my fourth time investigating with Barry Guy.
Yeah.
He's down again, so that should be fun. I shall have to dig out the AVP we got down there because that was something else.
I bet it won't beat that picture that you sent. Of the door.
I don't know.
Oh, that door!
It's a very impressive AVP, let me tell you. When you hear it, you'll go, "Oh my god!"
The door picture, taking a picture, a still of the wall, a bricked up wall, proper wall in a house, but to actually see through the what you call it, the thermal camera, there's an actual door frame and a door and the door handle. Like it's just a door that's there. That shouldn't be there. It's just that just blew my mind. That was amazing.
Yeah, I think I've got to dig the AVP out because I want to play it to Barry when we're down there.
No, you're muted.
Am I?
No,
she's back.
Oh, she's back.
Oh, I'm here. I didn't even realise, to be honest. I was like that. Okay, then. And then when Ian carried on, I was like, okay, then I'm getting ignored.
You're muted. I see her mouth moving. I can't hear her. She's muted.
I've got to dig it out for Barry, so I'll dig it out and I'll play it on here. It was
Yeah, that'd be good.
It was so loud. Every piece of equipment recorded it, and everybody heard it. And it was something we weren't expecting to hear down there as well.
Yeah.
So,
what was you saying, Lo, before you muted yourself?
I said, yeah, it was a cracking piece of information. Sorry, I muted myself because Boheed was talking to me as well.
Is that Stephen? Hi, Stephen!
Hello, mate.
Out my life.
No, he's a good bloke. Leave Stephen alone.
You weren't requested.
Poor bloke.
No, he's not coming in a ghost hunt. I don't want him to.
Stephen, you can come with me if you want. We'll go together.
Push him down a hill. If you see a hill.
No, poor guy.
I would.
Poor guy. I'll push Dan down a hill.
No, I need to chase after him.
It's like cheese rolling. It's like the cheese rolling contest.
Dan will push me down hill. He'd go, get down there. Tell me if it's all right and I'll come after you.
I must admit, I'm a bugger. See, when I'm out, like, I love scaring people. So it's like I hide in the wee dark corners. And I love grabbing people's, like, the back of their legs. Because it's so funny.
Yep, I scare people, but I don't do it intentionally. I've just a knack of being stealthy.
Turning up and then right behind them.
Yeah, exactly. I can move through a building without making a noise. Even the creepiest building going. And
Do you know, I investigated the London tombs, and a member of their staff is part of the tallest. He's the tallest man currently in Great Britain, and he's not far from he's 7'6" or something. He's not far off 8 foot. He's a big man, and he in the London tombs he dresses up, puts all the zombie makeup out, and he goes out and he makes them scream and he grabs them and all that sort of thing. But he was there just as staff, right? And all he did was walk through one of the corridors in his normal, like, London tombs outfit, you know, green shirt and trousers, looking quite smart. Lovely, lovely bloke. And all he did was turn this corner when I was coming round the other way, and I'd already met the guy, lovely man. He'd come round the other way, and all I just saw was this big dark shadow. I fucking shit myself, and I jumped. And honestly, a little bit of wee came out. And then when I got scared, I laugh. So I'm laughing at it because I literally bumped into him. I hit his stomach, I think. And he just stands there with his arms crossed like that, looking down at you as if to say, you're a naughty little girl, you know, sort of thing. And he really shit me up. And every time I saw him during that course of the evening, I sort of, you know, because he scared me, because he gave me this look like, what are you doing, sort of thing. Yeah, and he didn't actually do anything to scare me. He just, wherever he was, it's like, oh, poor man. Yeah, this tall man.
Oh.
I believe he still works there. But brilliant place to go and investigate. If you ever get the chance to do the London tombs, it was the plague pits of London. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Ooh. Definitely.
Oh, Bev Robinson's in the house.
Good evening, Bev.
Hi, Naomi.
Good evening.
Naomi.
Good evening, Naomi.
Naomi. Lovely Naomi.
Lovely Naomi.
Yes.
We've had a good Friday night. Friday nights
Yeah,
are
we
all
It's been all right. It's been all right.
What
I
we
must admit,
talked
I'm
about
knackered.
Tuesday? I forgot.
Do what?
What were we talking about? Shut up.
Ghost Adventures.
Right.
Ghost Adventures.
On Tuesday?
Oh, on Tuesday, Bigfoot.
Oh,
yes.
Somebody.
What's he laughing at?
The bastard is saying that Bigfoot's about me.
Yeah, but Bigfoot's hairy and Bigfoot smells.
Yeah, it's about her.
slap him.
I'm gonna punch him right in the chop.
I was going to say, if she slaps him, I know exactly what he's just said.
They do a secretion, don't they? And it smells. The little secretion.
He's sitting here the time with laughter.
She slaps it. Does Lois do a little secretion, Stephen?
He's broke.
He's broken, is he? I didn't break him. He did it to himself.
Yeah, 'cause he's a funny cunt.
Why am I cunny hunt?
He has a canny what?
Cunny
I
hunt.
thought he said he has a canny cunt.
He's a funny cunt.
Oh, he's a funny cunt. I thought he said
I said cunny hunt.
a canny what?
A cunny fun.
A canny funt.
Canny fun. Yeah.
What's a
Canny
canny
funt.
funt?
A funny
A
cunt.
funny cunt.
A
Yeah.
funny cunt, but it's reverse.
Oh.
See, that's another
It's-
thing us Scots do to confuse you lot.
That's it.
Switch the words
It's-
around.
It's not. It's Stephen in his string vest being Rabsy Nesbitt right now. That's what it is.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
I kill you. See you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
He's going to kill me.
Rabsy
isn't he?
Nesbitt was filmed in the part of Glasgow my family came from.
Really?
Govan Radio Rental.
I've only been in Govan once, and it was to work, and then I couldn't find my way out.
Oh,
Okay.
actually, talking about Scotland, I just want to put out there one of my favourite actors, a big R.I.P. to
Oh, I
Robbie
know.
Coltrane, who passed away this evening or today at 72.
Who?
Robbie Coltrane, Hagrid,
Oh, did he pass away?
Oh,
Bless
he passed away.
fantastic
Absolutely
actor,
blessed.
real talent, and by all accounts, a really lovely guy.
But not a man,
So-
not good man to his fans. I'll never forget the
I
time.
don't know anything
We-
about that. Steve. All I know
we-
is he was a great actor.
We took Damon down to the filming of The Prisoner of Azkaban, and all the actors, all the kids signed the books, all the understudies signed the books. Robbie Coltrane walks past with his nose stuck up in the air and wouldn't recognise any of the fans, and these are children.
Oh,
After that, my opinion.
Yeah, but you got to put yourself in their position. You don't know what he's gone through that day, do you?
Yeah, but these are kids. Come on.
Yeah,
What
but you
kids
don't know what
need
he's
to
gone
do?
through, do you?
to be
I'd
fair, I
say-
really liked him in Cracker. He
That was
Yeah.
great. That was.
brilliant in Cracker. And also, he did that episode in The Young Ones, and I really loved that episode.
He was
Yeah,
great.
I-
He's really, really talented man.
He might have had talent, but when it come to his fans, I think he could have dealt with them a little bit better than he did.
But that's one thing, isn't it? That's one thing that you saw. You don't know what he
Yeah.
was like overall.
Yeah,
You know.
I particularly after that I didn't.
See,
I
I
had
heard the same thing. I heard exactly the same thing about Eric Morecambe.
Yeah, he was.
But then I
known.
met a woman who was a child, and she said that she remembers being in a shop in Harpenden where he came from, where he lived, and she was behind him, and he was in front of her at the cash out, and he just turned around and put his glasses like he used to, a skew if, and looked at her, and then just made her laugh. So you don't know, do you? I mean, you know what? We all have really shit days, don't we? It could have
Yeah.
just been that, you know. It's
Could have
like, you
been.
know.
I absolutely love Morecambe and Wise. See when it's the singing in the rain, and Dave Rose the stripper when they're making the breakfast.
Yeah. When they're flipping the pancake things.
I'm
Oh.
like, it's so in tune. You just
Do you know,
you could be like,
Very
My
clever.
My favourite always used to be Spike Milligan, and then Andy used to go into a company to fix a photocopier, and the lady that used to look after Andy was Spike Milligan's daughter, and she was from the first marriage because he has two sets of like families. And the stories that she told Andy about her father and how he was to her as a child and how he treated her mother and the drinking and the violence that came as a result of really sort of like, oh, I don't like Spike Milligan anymore.
Peter
But it doesn't-
Sellers was the same, wasn't he? Apparently.
Yeah, but it doesn't take it away from the fact that he was funny and all the rest of it. But you know what?
No.
I just think, well, you know, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors, and you don't know who these
Well,
people are.
the thing is as well, same with Peter Sellers and Spike Milligan, they had real severe mental health problems, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because there's that story going around about Peter Sellers that his little boy went out. Michael, I think his son's called, or was. I think he might have passed away recently. I'm not sure. But anyway, he went out to clean his Rolls Royce. And he had like a scouring pad and he didn't realise. So he thought he was doing right, the kid. So as he's cleaned the Rolls Royce, he's scratched the paintwork. So rather than, you know, adjusting himself normally and acting like any sane adult would,
Beat the
he went
shit out.
inside, pulled the kid inside and smashed all his toys up.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
But that's I mean, that you know, mental health, real severe mental health problems, didn't they?
Do you know
Yeah.
the really sad thing that I read recently? And I love the Carry On movies. Absolutely love every one of them. Got the collection there. I read a thing about Barbara Windsor and Sid James. And it stated that a lot of problems with Sid James's was Barbara Windsor because he became so obsessed with her. When she had obviously finished it with him, it broke his heart and he turned to alcohol. He was alcohol dependent, obviously, because he just couldn't get over Barbara Windsor. And then I watched her Big Biography on Netflix, and it was so sad. It was actually so sad.
Who knows? Who knows? Nobody really knows what goes on, do they?
It was funny because Daniel Radcliffe was quite young at the time, and he sort of just scurried past, you know, behind Robbie Coltrane. He sort of head down, scurried past, and the lady that stood next to us at the time, we didn't know was his mother, and he scurried past, and we'd called him over to sign Damon's book, and she went, I'm not having that. And I looked at her. She went, I didn't bring him up to behave like that. She says, you wait there. She went and grabbed him by the hand. She says, you will come back and you will sign this book. She said, these are your fans. Remember where you came from. I didn't bring you up like that. And Coltrane must have heard that. Anyway, he signed the book. He took the book from Damon, held the book like that, signed it. Fingerprints all over it because he was filming it. It was quite dusty at Virginia Water where they were filming the forest scenes and stuff. So, yeah. But I just stood there with my mouth open and didn't say a word. What could you say after that?
Fair play. But
fair play to her. I mean, he was made to sign a few books before he disappeared again. But his mum went and got him, and she said, I am not having that.
no,
And that was his mother.
fair play. But it's been a great show, guys. It really has.
Yes, it has. It's been
Right,
enjoyable.
guys, I thought you were only doing an hour in and didn't pick up your wife. I hope you've not left your wife stunning somewhere.
She's not working tonight.
Right.
Ah,
I thought you were only staying an hour. And then I was looking at the time going on and I'm thinking, maybe he's not noticed. I was like,
That's why he's behaving himself. The wife's there.
yeah.
Am I still alive? Yes.
Yes.
Well, don't forget, tomorrow night, William Becker has two of the people from West Yorkshire Paranormal, Anna Goodrich and her friend Joanne, and they've recently been up to the Edinburgh Vaults, so I think they're doing a show about that and discussing
Good.
the Edinburgh Vaults tomorrow. And Paul Rook has got Mysterious Worlds on Tuesday. I'm not sure who his guest is. And we have got, Dan and I have got Luke Tabram on Wednesday.
Yep.
We
We'll be chatting to the lovely Luke about his explores and his film work and what he's been up
foray
to.
into the paranormal.
Yeah. And next week, what are we talking about, Lois? On the Frightners?
The first thing that pops up.
Granddad Tolly's face.
He's like that. It's just a shock horror.
Yeah.
Are you joining us next weekend? I know I keep kidnapping you. You don't even get a choice. It's just
Yeah.
If
okay.
the wife's working, you can have me for an hour,
There you go.
Woo!
There you go.
and then I have to go and pick her up. So I can be here for the first hour most of the time. So
Smashing. I'll have a think and then I'll get back to you guys.
Cool.
Cool.
Coolio.
Well, have a great weekend, everyone.
Yeah, have a good one, everyone. Stay safe. And we'll see you next week.
Speak to you. Bye.
Bye.